What up, YouTube? What up, B Squad? Damn, I gotta get used to saying that. What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Married at First Sight, you guys. This is season 15, episode number 8. Episode titled Party Ways, you guys. So before we go ahead and jump into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on my channel and you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, I need you guys to do me a solid favor to stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and by sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Married at First Sight, shall we? All right, you guys. So we are on day 12 and 13, and I believe day 14 of marriage. So first couple we're going to start up with is Lindsey and Miguel. So we see Miguel as he's talking to one of his friends, and he's telling his friend, like, marriage is so good, and she checks every box. And when he started talking about them boxes that she was checking, I was like, it sounds like you're looking for a housekeeper. Are you looking for a wife or a housekeeper? Because what are we looking for? So then his friend does ask Miguel, does he think that Lindsey will fit in with their group, right? You guys know that they're into the Dungeons and Dragons of things. Honestly, I believe Miguel said yes, and I actually do believe that Lindsey would fit in well with those people. I do. So also in this episode, we are doing the housewarming parties, right? Whew. There were 2 housewarming parties that I was confused about. One of them would be Lindsey and Miguel's housewarming party. So they threw a housewarming party that was supposed to be like a game show, right? When I saw them in that what they're calling game show, I'm like, girl, is this supposed to be Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady? Because y'all look like y'all was, come on down and let's play Let's Make a Deal. Like, that's what it looked like to me. But hey, they decided to play the newlywed games instead. I was like, the newlywed game? I ain't never saw the newlywed games. And I used to watch the newlywed game with my grandmother back in the day when it used to come on Game Show Network. So yeah, that ain't the newlywed game. But okay, if that's what y'all want to say, go ahead and say it, right? So then we do see them as they're talking to their friends, and they both are still saying how, great marriage is with each other, right? And one of Miguel's friends is like, so you found him funny? She's like, yeah, I think he's funny. She's like, girl, thank God you found him funny, because I don't find him funny at all. So we did find out that both Miguel and Lindsey, they had an argument the night before. So Miguel wants for Lindsey to take his last name, but Lindsey isn't ready to take Miguel's last name. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, so I can see both sides of this situation. It is a big thing for a woman to take on her husband's last name. If you've been doing especially if you're in a professional environment like a lawyer, a doctor, or even an actor, right? People know you by a certain name. So then when you get married, it'll be like, people are not gonna know me by that name. So I have to switch everything, right? I have to change a lot of things so that my new last name is on there, right? Now, he wants her to take his last name. She wants to be on his health care. And here's the thing that threw me when she was like, the health care. I was like, wait a minute, Lindsey, you are a professional woman. Why don't you have health care? Like, whenever I apply for a job, that be the first thing I look into. What are your health benefits? What are your 401k benefits? What do you do for, leave off? What do you do as far as if I'm a woman, I get pregnant? What about adoption? Like, those would be the things that I look for. What if I am, you got people who are in the LGBT community. What about my spouse? Like, you got to look into all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, you don't have health insurance. Girl, that is scary as hell to me. I'm just saying, that would scare the hell out of me. Also, Lindsey is very annoying. She the way she was going back and forth with Miguel when they were in that bed, like, I get it. It is a big thing for you to take his last name, but it's also a big thing for him to add you to his health insurance. Yes, you're his spouse, but you're still a virtual stranger to him. You guys have only been married at this point a little less than 2 weeks. So yes, I get both sides of the spectrum. Would I do that? You guys, I actually can't even tell you guys what I would do if I was in a relationship. Well, you know what? I would never do nothing like this, so I can tell you that. I wouldn't do nothing like Married at First Sight. But if I'm in a relationship, we get married, of course I'm going to put my spouse on there. I don't even care if you don't take my last name. If we've been together for any length of time, then absolutely I'm going to add you to my health insurance. But I do see his point and I see her point. They both actually have some valid points. Now, at the end of the episode, they did talk, right, after they had met up with the other couples, and Miguel was like, he gonna put her on his health insurance, and I was like, she's happy. And see, when she was with the lady, she said it's not about the health insurance. I'm like, girl, yes it is. It's fine. It's okay to say it's about the health insurance. It's okay to say it. Like, girl, we realize, I get it. Like, stuff happens, so it's okay to say you should have the health insurance. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right, you guys, so let's pause here and let's move on to the next couple. You guys, Kristen and Mitch. Whoo, Kristen is falling deep, you guys. Kristen is falling deep for Mitch, and I am afraid that my good sis is going to get hurt in the long run, especially the way that Mitch was talking about. We'll get to it in just a minute. So we see Kristen, so she's out for lunch with her friend, and her friend asked her how are things going, right? And she says, things are okay. Living with him is a lot different than what she expected, because then they showed us this flashback of this big water tank that is in their house. I'm like, oh God. He is an uber environmentalist. Like, I'm okay with people being, all about the environment, wanting to do reusable things. I'm okay with that to a certain extent. There are certain things that I would not reuse. There's just certain things that I would not reuse. Like, let me tell you guys this. Like, I had, when it comes to like things like dishes and stuff like that, I don't use dishes. I use plastic. Oh, I ain't even spit, y'all. I use plastic. Like, I will use, now when it comes to my knives and forks and stuff, I will use my silverware. I will use my actual silverware. But when it comes to like plates and stuff, I use paper plates for everything. I refuse to use a plate. Because why? I don't want to wash it. Period, point blank. I just don't want to wash it. Like, if somebody would really invent some reusable, no. If somebody would just make some plastic, plastic pots and pans, I would be so happy. Just make some plastic pots and pans that I can cook on them, throw them bad boogers away after I'm done. Ain't got to worry about it. That would be perfect for me. So they're not agreeing on the housewarming party because he wants to do everything reusable. I'm cool with reusable, but what threw me at the housewarming party when they said that they were reusing reusable things to take Jello shots. Absolutely not. He won't be doing it. So then they're gonna address. It's gonna be how you think the world would end. Absolutely not. So then her friend asked her, "So have you told Mitch about your previous engagement?" So Kristen said no, she hadn't told Mitch about it because she's kind of apprehensive because she doesn't want. Because she said she's told guys in the past before, and they looked at it like, "What was wrong with you?" And I'm like, how can anybody come up with what's wrong with you when your ex-fiance was having an affair with another woman for 6 months? When you found out, you called off the wedding, and you still went through with the wedding without him. So I don't know how anybody could find any fault or issue with Kristen, but hey, girl, that was probably men that would probably do the same thing to you. So count your blessings, girl. So, like I said, Mitch wants you to do reusable everything for the housewarming party. When I saw that housewarming party, all I thought about was Xenon. That used to come, the movie Xenon. I was like, wow, this is giving very much Xenon, and it was scary. So Kristen, she's talking to her friends, and Mitch is talking to his brother and his sister-in-law. So she's okay with him being an environmentalist, but she didn't know it was going to be as deep as it is. Yeah, like I said, I'm environmentally safe. I consider myself environmentally safe. I do want to get one of those reusable straws. I want a reusable straw so badly. I want one of those. Instead of, always going to the fast food restaurants and they give you them plastic ones and then you end up throwing them away. I would like to have one reusable, so that way, because I drink out of a straw even when I'm at home. So that would be nice to have a reusable. So I do like reusable things. Certain things, like I said, it's in moderation. There are some things I'm not just going to reuse. That would be like telling a woman, and I'm going to get a little graphic, so forgive me. That would be like telling a woman, actually, nope, I'm going to go one deeper. I'm not going to go that extreme. But I think you guys can get where I'm coming. That's like back in the day when people, before Pampers came out. People used to use reusable diapers. That's like saying, oh, your baby take a dump in the diaper, just clean the diaper, just dump it in the toilet and wash that diaper. Say what? No, nobody wants to do that. Take the diaper off, clean the baby up, throw that nasty diaper away, and move on. So, like I say, there are things that you could use in moderation. There are certain things you can reuse, and there are certain things you can't reuse. So just keep that in mind. Now, what really kind of made me chuckle a lot was the fact that Mitch was talking about the fact that he couldn't sleep the night before because her dog Luna snores. I was like, oh, not Luna. Luna's such a cutie. But what really threw me was when his sister-in-law had Luna. When his sister-in-law had Luna and she was breathing and they were laughing. I'm like, y'all are not laughing at this. Y'all are laughing at this woman's dog, and it's not funny. The fact that Luna breathes so hard. Luna is, well, girl. Luna's sick. Kristen, I think Luna is really, really sick. I don't know why your vet won't tell you that. Because I think Luna might have a lot of underlying health issues. I think Luna might need to, I don't want to say it, but girl, that dog has a lot of issues. That's all I gotta say about Luna. I didn't like them laughing about Luna, but yeah, Luna got some issues. Let's pause here and let's move on to the next couple. Oh my God, you guys. So there are two women on this. There are two of the women that I'm not particularly fond of right now, and I know you guys might think you guys know who I'm talking about, but you really, well, it's three. It's three. But one of them, I just think I believe she is being tit for tat. I think she's doing things to spite her husband, and that is Alexis. So Alexis and Justin, you guys. So the three that I'm not really feeling that much is Alexis, Lindy, and Morgan. But Alexis, the only reason I'm not feeling Alexis is because of how I feel Alexis is doing Justin. So we see Alexis, and she's talking to her sister, right? So Alexis tells her sister that Newton got attacked by Justin's dog, and then Justin sent his dog to that weird looking camp, and that when she comes back, if she's still kind of in the aggressive route, then they'll send her to live with one of his friends, right? I would not give up my dog. I'm sorry, I would not. So then, she tells her sister that they both said that they loved each other. I don't believe that Alexis loves Justin. I think she might have love for him. And she said it later in the episode that she's not in love with him, which we knew that. So, I actually said it in this scene. So then she's still talking about the fact that Justin didn't tell her about, what's his dog's name? Maya's previous incidents. I get her point of view from that. It looks like he's omitting things. I get that. I do get that point, right? But I feel also like when it comes to Alexis, she nitpicks. I got to be honest with you guys. So then we also see another scene. In this scene, I was like, what in the hell is going on here? They were arguing back and forth because Newton wasn't eating. He threw up blood, and she was mad at Justin because Justin didn't tell her. I mean, the way that you acting right here, right now, I'm sorry. I don't blame Justin. Then they were fussing. He was cussing. I was like, well, damn. So then we see them as they're out shopping for things for the housewarming party, right? So he says that he's not upset with her. She's like, I couldn't tell because the way you cussed at me. So he said, every time that they bicker, like I said, I feel like she's doing I get worse. I get her upset. I get her being upset. I get her frustration, right? But as much as I can say Justin is at fault, so is Alexis, right? this is the first time your dogs met each other. I wouldn't necessarily put them right in the same vicinity with each other right away. I would kind of wait it out and see how things play out. So I'm not going to say that it's all on Justin, and I'm not going to say it's all on Alexis. It's 50-50. Now, what I will agree with Alexis on, when Justin does talk, he does talk in riddles, and sometimes the things that he says don't really add up, and I'm just like, it makes absolutely no sense what he's talking about, right? So then we see the housewarming party. It's a 90s themed housewarming party. So Alexis, she's, talking to her friends about how vague Justin is and how she feels like with him being vague, that is basically him lying. Now, that part I have to disagree with, right? I don't believe that him being vague is him lying. Most times people who are very, like, I've been told that sometimes, like, with my job and in my claim files, sometimes I've had bosses that tell me, like, my first name is Gerald. They'll be like, Gerald, you're pretty vague when it comes to I don't put a lot of detail into, like, I don't go work, like, because I asked one of my bosses, I'm like, would you rather me put a whole paragraph or would you rather me summarize what happened in the phone conversation? And my boss was like, don't summarize it, so to speak. Put as much information in there so that way you're covered. And I think that's really what it is. She thinks that him being vague is him lying. Him being vague is probably just him not being able to verbally express himself cohesively or in a focused way. And I think she's doing a lot. And like I said, I do believe that she is I do believe that she's nitpicking. And I do get her point about him not telling her about Maya and the previous incidents that she has. That's something he should have definitely told her. He should have told her that. But I'm not going to come down on Justin. Like I said a few minutes ago, equal on both parties. And then when his friends talking about that's a male thing to not tell everything about the dogs. Who? What? Sir, shut up. Let's pause here, you guys, and let's go ahead and move forward. Oh, you guys, I forgot to mention one thing with Kristen and Mitch. That Kristen did tell Mitch about her ex, and he was okay with it. He said it didn't change how he feels about her. So they're good. You guys, next up, let's talk about Morgan and Ben. Morgan is annoying too. Morgan is annoying in the fact that she keeps holding this stuff over Ben's head. Ben has apologized to you. You continuously harp on what he said. This man has apologized. Either you accept his apology or you don't. One of the two, sis, but stop. The trust has been broken. Girl, it ain't that deep. I mean, it's deep, but it ain't that deep. So he's working out with his friend, and she's FaceTiming her friend, right, who missed the wedding. And, she's telling him how hard it's been. And, Ben says that, he asked a question that he didn't really like the response, and he overreacted. And I appreciate Ben for saying he overreacted, right? But it's Morgan that's bothering me. Morgan is literally bothering my spirit. Like, she feels like he's asking surface level questions about finances and family stuff. I was like, how is that surface level when you're strangers? So the way to get to know a person is to ask them questions about, now the finances, that might be too fast, too soon. I don't know. You guys can tell me what you think. But the family situation, the family questions, that is just a way of getting to know you. Again, kind of like what I said about with Alexis, I feel like it's nitpicking. I feel like we're nitpicking, right? So she says she's closed off from him because of what happened in Mexico. I'm like, girl, whatever. I don't see it for Morgan. I don't see it for Morgan. If I don't see it for Morgan, and I definitely don't see it for Lindy. And then I'm side eyeing Alexis. That's all it is with Alexis. But her friend tells her you need to let the walls down. I'm like, exactly. How do you expect to get to know this man in 8 weeks if you're still holding on to something that happened on the honeymoon? Like I said, Ben has apologized to you for what happened. Why are we still harping on it? It's annoying to me, and I want her to stop with it. I really do want her to stop with it. It's like really bothering my spirit. And then she brought it up again at the damn housewarming party. So now, Ben, sir, when you went to that liquor store to buy some cheap, great value liquor, no, sir, that is something we will not do. Don't nobody want to drink no cheap liquor. Nah, bruh, you drink it. So then when they had the housewarming party, they told their friends about the honeymoon. Now Ben didn't want to mention what happened at the honeymoon. She's like, see, I like how he's not really telling what happened on the honeymoon. Oh my God. Oh, Morgan. Girl, shut up. And then, so they split apart. So she told his friends what happened. Again, like I said, she wants to say a surface level, but it's good questions to ask. Like, you guys are strangers. What are your, like, I mean, when you get married, you take on your spouse's debt. I don't want to get married and find out my significant other has a tax lien, bankruptcy. Shout out to Nate. Bankruptcy. I don't want to find out any of that stuff because I don't want Uncle Sam or any creditor coming after me for something that you did in your. And we all have. I mean, I ain't saying nothing is wrong with that. If you want to help your spouse out, that's on you. But those are good questions to ask. Do you have a tax lien? Have you filed bankruptcy? Have you been arrested? What is your criminal back? Like, ask these questions. I don't know you. You're a stranger to me, so ask the questions. She's getting them. She's right there. She's tip-tapping on the NERVES. Tip-tapping. Let's pause here, you guys. Let's move on over to Stasha and Nate. All right, you guys. Stasha and Nate. I really want Nate to cut those braids. Sir, they're not growing. So he's talking to his friend, and he's talking about how he feels like this is a real relationship. You know, they hold hands, they kiss, they do this and that. And then he says, you know, that Stasha's in therapy, and she knows how to express herself well, right? But she wants him to go deeper. Now, I have an issue with Stasha because I get where Stasha's coming from. She wants to. Again, it goes back to what I was saying about Morgan. These are all ways to get to know each other. But when it comes to Nate, you can see that Nate has some trauma from his mother leaving him, right? So I wouldn't ask him to go deep into that stuff. I would say, you know, let's go to therapy. Let's talk it out. Let's figure out how to work through that hurt and that pain that you felt from your mother. I wouldn't ask him to go deeper. And I wouldn't push him to go deeper. If he feels like he's giving me the right answer, if he feels like he's giving me his best, that's all you can ask for it at that particular time. But he does tell his friend that he's decided that he wants to go through with therapy. And, you know, he also talks about the fact that he is afraid that once we get to decision day, that he could potentially get hurt. And I was like, okay, I'm not upset with that. So then we see Nate, and so we're at their housewarming party, and I think their housewarming party was 70s thing. So he was talking to her sister about their relationship, and, you know, once again, he still feels like things are good with them, and they do talk about kids, and she's talking to his friends, right? So Stasha's 37, so Stasha wants to start with kids within the next, you know, year and a half, right? And I think Nate is okay with kids, but I think Nate wants to know how she is when it comes to kids, and Nate also, and his friends also said, like, with him and his dad, he wants to make sure that he is just financially fit to be there for his kids. And she understands that because she doesn't want her kids to struggle or want for anything as well. So I think they're both on the same page with that. Can they make it? Honestly, as much as I didn't see it for Nate in the beginning, I kind of do like this couple, to be 100% honest with you guys. I do like this couple. I just want Stasha to not be so pushy. I think that's the issue that I have with Stasha, is Stasha just comes off just a little bit pushy. And that's all it is for me with Stasha. She just comes off a little bit pushy. But let's pause here, you guys, and let's move forward and wrap up the episode. All right, you guys, so we see the men and the women, and they meet up with each other. Once again, my good sis Kristen, girl, pump the Jbsayzwhat, girl, because I think you moving too fast. I'm when it comes to anybody that I'm afraid for decision day, it is Kristen. I'm scared for Kristen. That is the only person that I have a little bit of fear for decision day is Kristen. So, but Mitch does say that, you know, he feels good about the marriage, but he's still talking about Luna. Ben says that, you know, his stepson don't like him. His son hisses at him. Miguel said his cat that she bit him and stabbed him. I was like, damn. So then Alexis and Justin, they talk about their dog situation. And again, I've already talked about this ad nauseum about Alexis. I just really do feel like Alexis is using this against him. And I get it that, Newton is her baby, right? But like I said before, there is equal blame on both sides. So they talk to Lindy and Miguel, talk about the insurance. So Stasha is on Lindy's side, and Kristen with the Y, she is on Miguel's side. I want you guys to tell me in the comment section whose side are you guys on when it comes to this whole situation of the insurance and the last name. So then Alexis. So Alexis is withholding sex from Justin. So you guys remember, Alexis was talking about sex in the beginning, but now that Justin wants to initiate sex, she doesn't want to do it. And I'm like, yeah, she is doing that to get back at you for what happened with Maya and with Newton. That's all I feel. Nate, how did you feel comfortable telling the men that you had dessert with your wife? You haven't consummated the marriage, but you had dessert, and they didn't know what. And Justin's like, what does that mean? I'm like, Justin, he had dessert, sir. They just asked the question of, have you consummated your marriage? He said he's had dessert. That means he's gone down on his wife. Morgan and Ben, they haven't been intimate because she has a wall up, and I'm sorry, I would not want to be intimate with Morgan. Absolutely would not be for me. But hey, that's really all I got, you guys. That is Married at First Sight. I want you guys to get down in the comment section and let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn on your post notifications. Share the video. And until the next time, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, you guys. So tomorrow, around 1 o'clock, I'm thinking I'm going to go live so we can discuss the mess that has happened on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Because I got a lot of stuff to say. I don't want to record a video. I just want to talk about it live. So join me tomorrow for the live at 1 p.m. to discuss Beverly Hills. And I'll see you guys later I'll see you guys for that. And then you guys should also see the Real Housewives of Dubai season finale. Bye, guys.